I think it's important to realise early on in the contracting process what you're seeking to do during transition. It's important to focus on how transition will be governed, so therefore governance of transition is important. Set up the right teams. Think about accountability for transition. Who's going to lead it? Have you got a clear person identified who will lead it? It's important, I think, to have a joint transition plan that both parties buy into. It's important to be clear whose responsibilities are for taking certain actions during the course of the transition. And if you've got that clarity of responsibilities and they're planned for well in advance, that's the key way in which we tell clients it's possible to avoid problems occurring during the transition process.
A number of things can go wrong in a transformation, and when they go wrong, they can have many effects. If you think about it this way, if you have a transformation where the transformation was the essential part of the transaction, then when the transformation fails or is delayed, then you have essentially a failure of the outsourcing transaction, in which case often you have to think about what ramifications will occur contractually if that occurs. So that's one thing, an essential failure of the overall transaction. A second issue might be where a transformation fails and it results in certain cost losses. So for example, let's talk about an instance where a transformation involved a server consolidation. When that happens, the company expected at a point in time for there to be less servers in the environment. However, when the transformation fails, that means that there are more servers in the environment, which means that the company is paying more at that time for the servers that it wanted, which means that it is losing the cost savings potentially that it thought it was going to get, which is taking value away from the transaction. Another instance, for example, would be where these kinds of transactions require all kinds of input from many different areas in the company. So for example, applications developers have to be involved in that transformation of a server consolidation. And so they may be putting off essential projects for the company that are necessary for the company to gain revenue. As a result, it's delaying all kinds of business positive activity for the company. And when that happens, the company, again, is losing value in its expectation.